Benjamin Netanyahu said anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism.
Of course he said that.
Do you disagree?
Absolutely, I disagree.
What's the gap between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism? Those who are against the policies of Israel versus those who are against the Jewish people.
I watched the first like 20 minutes and then I couldn't do it anymore, but I watched, and then what was interesting about Netanyahu is that he said, being anti-Zionist is like saying I'm okay with the Jews. I just don't believe the Jews have a right to form their own state. That's like saying I'm okay with Americans. I'm just not okay with Americans having their own state. And there is so much wrong with that statement in the sense that Jewish people are a religious group, and Americans and being an American is a nationality that consists of a diversity of religions and so on and so forth, first of all. And the second thing that's wrong with that statement is the whole idea that states somehow have a right to exist or whatever. It's such a distraction. You have people getting shot in the street. You have like millions and millions of people besieged. You have people losing their homes. You have people who are held in Israeli prisons without trial or charge indefinitely. But the conversations that are being held on the Hill, the conversations that are being held on CNN are, does Israel has a right to exist, or like why would you negate Israel's having a right to exist? That's one. Now, of course, I just find it's ridiculous again, like that opposing a secular political movement that was explicitly colonialist, expansionist, exclusive, and racist through the words of its own authors is somehow, and also again opposing such a political movement that is quite young and quite recent, is somehow equivalent to opposing a religion that is thousands and thousands of years old. But it is convenient, again, for Israeli politicians to frame us who oppose Zionism, a form of racism and bigotry, as anti-Semites. But I can guarantee you Benjamin Netanyahu has no problem with anti-Semitism. This is the same man who has no problem getting on stage and shaking hands with Pastor John Hagee, doing webinars with Pastor John Hagee. For those who don't know, Pastor John Hagee is the founder of Christians United for Israel, who has said on multiple occasions that Hitler was a hunter who was sent to hunt the Jews, who said on multiple occasions that Jewish people are going to perish in hell. All of this is like verifiable by Google. And this is one of the Israeli regime's closest allies, right? So the Israeli regime does not have a problem with anti-Semites when it serves its interests. It has a problem. I mean, like if you look at evangelicals or like Christian Zionism at large, anti-Semitism lies at the heart of Christian Zionism. It's the idea that we want to drive all of the Jews outside of the United States so that Armageddon could happen or whatever the fuck. This accusation has been a muzzle. It has been used as a muzzle to silence political opposition and to stifle political advocacy for the liberation of Palestine. And a lot of the time, people get caught up in denouncing it and in justifying themselves and disclaimers and so on and so forth, that you lose the point, that you're distracted from the focal point. That is, there is an ongoing colonialism happening where people every single day are killed. I cannot keep count. This morning, a kid was shot in Palestine. We cannot, it's embarrassing even for me that I don't even know the numbers here. But this muzzle has been effective, and I think the only righteous option is to oppose these labels, these smear campaigns that target us. I myself have been labeled an anti-Semite by the ADL, and I mean, like, if you want to talk about that at surface level, people will say like, wow, the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, condemned you. But people do not look at the history of the Anti-Defamation League, do not look at the present of the Anti-Defamation League. The fact that they are the largest non-governmental police training department in the country, where they train police in racial profiling and militarism. The fact that they have historically and continue to have engaged in surveillance on black liberation movements, on anti-apartheid South African activists, most recently in Charlottesville when white supremacists were marching and chanting anti-Semitic shit. The ADL advised local police departments to spy on the black organizers opposing the white supremacists. This is, again, all verifiable on the internet. Go to droptheadl.org.
So the ADL does not alleviate the hate in the world, as it probably is designed to do.
No, it's a guise. I don't think the Apartheid Defense League is really our most progressive.
That's what it stands for.
Yeah, in case you didn't know, now you know.